So I guess the final words of wisdom, I mean, what is something that you can give to an entrepreneur that potentially sees this podcast, hears your vision, hears your dream, see that you're living it? What would you give to them?
I think, I think a couple of things. Some of the advice that I got was, if any way you can figure it out, don't take a bank loan to do what you want to do. Because then you're working for the bank, and that's very stressful, especially if you're living through a time like this, where all your best plans in the world might have changed. There's individuals out there who, if your idea is good enough, they're going to believe in you and they will want to invest in your idea. It might take a lot of doors to knock on to find those right people. That's the right deal. We were fortunate, and we had put everything we had into it, certainly, but we had some great investors who believed in what we were doing that we were able to buy out with time, because that's the way we set it up. And they helped us get started. But we also knew that, God forbid, if something went wrong or our projections were off, nobody's going to take anything from us. And no credit's going to be ruined. So I think that was important. I think also, just because your current job situation may not be ideal, that doesn't mean working for yourself is going to be any better. If you can't make it through the day to see the good things that you have in the job or in your current situation, it's probably not going to be a lot different than working for yourself, but you're not going to have anybody else to blame at that point. Where right now you can point some other fingers that you need to figure that out first. But I think so many people go into business for themselves. They think it's easier, which it's not. You can testify to that. Yeah. It's not less work hours. All those things. As far as gratifying, nothing more gratifying, because you did it. As far as stress, I mean, when I managed a store for other people, to me, that was more stressful, even though this is, eat or not eat, because I'm not getting paid unless my business is successful. It's not as stressful because I only have to prove myself to me. I'd certainly have to my crew and to our customers, but if I mess up, I mess myself up. And hopefully I'm going to learn and not do it again, where when you're working for somebody else, you're trying to please them. And if you mess up, hopefully you're going to feel bad that you messed up and that cost them something. And I think that's a big difference too, just knowing that, ultimately it's all going to fall on you at this point. Even if in your current job you felt like it did, there's nothing like it, and nobody's ever going to understand all that you do. Mondays, today, you were nice enough to do this with me on a Monday. It's a day I don't go into the store. I work at home because all I do is book work all day. But I have the flexibility to do that. That's great. I could take a break and get to talk to you, and we got to talk about the scenery behind you before we jump off of this, but see some great scenery behind you, because I have that flexibility, where working for somebody else, I might not have that. So lots of great things, but don't do it because you think it's going to be easier. Don't do it because you think you're going to get rich doing it. Do it because you believe in it, because you love it, because you have something to bring to people to do differently. And we sort of had all of those things together. And to me, that was just very gratifying. We could give back to the community. We could change the way my industry, the jewelry industry, saw people, whether same-sex couples or whatever it is. It was a battle for us when we started, because we're going to our company saying, we need this type of merchandise. This is what we need now. And so that we feel like we pushed through and we made a difference in that. And that's been very gratifying to us. So I think it is just be willing to do it all. Years ago, I had a customer come to a store when we were closed, and I was mopping the floor of the store on a day we were closed. And they said, "You mop the floor?" I said, "Do you want to pay more for my jewelry and I'll hire a maid?" But yeah, I mop the floor, take out the trash. There's nothing below you as the business owner. And I think that's key also, especially when you do have people that are working with you, to let them see, I'm not going to ask you to do anything that I'm not going to do. I'm going to go out to the dumpster. I'm going to mop the floor. I'm going to do all of these things also, but I expect you to do them. So do it because you love it. Do it because you believe in it. Don't work for the bank. And just be willing to work your ass off, because there's tons of other people out there willing to work their asses off.